Welcome to Number Corner. We don't have anyone today, so it's just going to be Mr. Bushy and I. But we're going to do all the same things. So let's look at our calendar. Yesterday, I had some people help me, and we figured out the date. So, a good way to find out the next one is to look at the numbers before so that you can see what the next number is. So here we had 16, 17, 18, which means that the next number is going to be 19. And we have a little bit of a pattern going on that I had some of you guessing. So I'm going to guess, I would guess that this one is red because of the way that the diagonal is going. And we can see that. And we also know that after all the purples, the red one comes. We got a red 19 there. So I have our date written out here. And so this was yesterday's date. It was 8/18/20. So the first one is our month. And we know that it's the eighth month because we counted down all the way from January. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we found August. Or August is up here. So we know it's still the 8th month. And we changed the day. Yesterday it was the 18th. And today is the 19th. So in order to make our 18 and 19, we're going to leave this 1, but we're going to change the 8 to a 9. And then it is still 2020, so we have this 20 at the end of our date. So our date today is August 19th, 20, or 8/19/20. Okay, so we have been talking a little bit about how to count by tens and by hundreds, and we've also been looking at how to say numbers. So today, I wrote out all of the numbers counting by tens all the way up to 200. So if you're watching this, you can count out loud with me. And we're going to start with these ones, starting right at 10. And then I'm going to have all of them up to 200. Okay. So our numbers are 10,
20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100.
And then, so we haven't done these ones yet.
Ooh.
So we have our 100, our 1 at the beginning, and then a 10. So this one's going to be 110. Okay. Then the next one is going to be 100 because we have this 1 at the beginning, and then 20. So 120. Then we're going to keep counting. We have 130. So if you notice, these are the same. Our tens are the same as that we just did. So 10, 20, 30, 40. We're just adding this 100 at the beginning. So our next one is 150. Then we have 160, 170, 180, 190, and then 200. Okay, so why don't we start here at the 110 and we'll say them together. So you can say them with me. 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 160, 170, 180, 190, 200. So my goal is in the next couple days and going into next week, we'll be able to count all the way up to 1,000. So tomorrow I was hoping to start at 200 and count a couple more and count a little bit higher so that we can learn all of the tens all the way up to 1,000. So we're going to do one of the same activities that we did yesterday, and we're going to be looking at how to say the names of numbers. And then I was going to have you guys say a number to me, and we were going to figure out how to write it down. So Mr. Bushy can help me with that when we get there. So let's start with a number. Okay, so here we have 3 numbers, and one of the things that we learned yesterday, is we always start with this first number, and this is the hundreds. Okay, I know that's kind of a big word, but that's what it is. It's hundreds. And so this is how many hundreds we have, okay? So we would always, so for this number, we would say 400. So that's that first number. And then we can look at these next numbers, and these are our tens. So how many tens do we have? And we learned, since we just counted up from by tens, we learned 10, and then this one is 20. Okay, so we have 2 tens, which means 20. And we have 0 ones over here. That's what that 0 is, so we don't need to worry about that right now. We just have 0 1. So we have 420 be this number. Okay, so let's do one more. Okay, so here we have another number. So again, let's start right here, right with the hundreds. So how many hundreds do we have? We have 6. So this number would start by saying 600, okay? Then we can look further. How many tens do we have? We have 5. So we know 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 would be this number, okay? But then usually where we have a 0, right now we have a 5, and that means that we have 5 ones. So that means we would just say 5. So we know that this is 655. So that's how you figure out how to say your numbers. And so that's how you can figure out how to say any number. So, Mr. Bushy, do you want to give me a number?
Are we going to stay in 0s and 5s for the ones?
We can, yeah.
Okay. How about 890?
890. Okay, so the first thing that I heard was 800. So I know that that's going to go in this first spot. 800. I'm going to try to write backwards. Looks like a bad snowman. So we have 800. We know we have 800s. The next thing I heard was 90. Okay, so if we think about which one 90 is, it kind of sounds like 9, which is one way to tell, but you can also count up by tens if you need to. So you could say 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, right? So if we had 90, we would put, or then we find out that it's 9, we can put a 9 there. And so if Mr. Bushy would have said 891 or 92 or 95, we would know that there's something here. But since I didn't hear anything after that 90, we know that there's just a 0. So for that number, we know that it's 890, 890, and that's how we would read that. So let's do one more of those. You want to give me another number?
I'm going to try to trick you. 105.
Ooh, 105. Okay. So we have our hundreds, so let's listen. 105. How many hundreds would we have? I hear that we have 1. So we're going to put a 1 right there for 100. Then let's listen to the number again. 105. Okay. Was there a 10 or a 20? I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear a 40 or a 50. So it kind of sounds like we don't have any tens, right? because we didn't hear, if we're counting up to 100 by tens, we didn't hear anything. So that's actually going to be a 0. 105. Because it would be different if he said 50, right? If it's 50, that would have gone right here. But he just said 5. So we have 100, and we're going to put a 5 in the ones. That means we have 5 ones. 1, 0, 5. Okay? So that's how we'd write that number. Does that look right, Mr. Bushy?
That looks correct.
So this is something you can try at home. You can maybe have your parents give you a number, and you can practice how to write those numbers. Maybe even if you're here tomorrow, you can see if you can think of some numbers, and we can do them during Number Corner. So thanks, guys.